There are families whose grandparents bought land they've never seen, whose children went to schools that had waiting lists, not for applications, but for generations, whose lawyers have lawyers. And then there's you. Now, before you close this video and go watch someone unbox sneakers, I want you to know something. The gap between them and you is not talent, it's not luck, it's not even money. It's mindset. Specifically, old money mindset. The kind that doesn't get taught in school. The kind your parents couldn't teach you because their parents didn't teach them either. But today, that stops. Allegedly. If this video changes how you think about money, and it will, do the algorithm a small favor, a tiny favor, the kind that costs you nothing but means everything. Hit subscribe, ring the bell, leave a comment that says, old money, just so I know you survived the whole video, because frankly, most people won't. Already subscribed? Beautiful. You're basically halfway to generational wealth already. The other half is the next 27 minutes. Let's go. All right, settle in, because what we're about to cover is the stuff that separates people who read about wealth from people who actually build it. Old money families, the ones with portraits hanging in hallways, the ones whose surnames are on hospital wings, they don't think about money the way you and I were raised to. We were taught earn, spend, survive. Maybe save a little, maybe not. Relatable. Deeply, embarrassingly relatable. Old money families think in decades, sometimes centuries. They make decisions today based on what their grandchildren will need. And before you roll your eyes and say, must be nice to be rich, I want to be very clear. These habits started before the money. The mindset created the wealth, not the other way around. This isn't a video about being born rich. This is a video about thinking rich, and then slowly, deliberately, boringly becoming it. By the end of this video, you'll have a clear picture of exactly what old money families do differently, not in theory, not in some abstract motivational poster way, but in specific, repeatable, boring daily habits that actually compound into something real. The kind of habits that, if your parents had them, you'd be watching this video from a slightly nicer couch. Progress. Here is the problem, and I want you to really sit with this one. We live in a world that is architecturally designed to make you feel poor, not just financially poor, psychologically poor. Every ad, every influencer, every limited drop, every treat yourself notification exists to exploit the gap between who you are and who you wish you were. And they're very, very good at it. Old money families, they're immune to this, not because they're superhumans, not because they don't want things. It's because they learned something most of us were never taught. Spending is emotional. Wealth is logical. And the second you feel an emotion telling you to open your wallet, that's the moment old money families get very, very quiet. That pause, that one deliberate pause is worth more than any budgeting app you downloaded, used for 4 days, and forgot about. Okay, here we go. The core idea, the thing that holds everything else together. Old money families don't build wealth, they plant it. Think of wealth like a tree. The branches, the cars, the homes, the investments, those are what people see. Those are what people try to copy. New money buys the branches and wonders why there are no roots. Sound familiar? These are the 3 roots of old money mindset. And here's the savage irony. None of them require being rich to start. All 3 can begin with $0 and a library card. We're going to go deep on each one, but first, I need to show you the traps, because knowing the roots isn't enough if you keep walking into the same 3 walls every single time. Every single time. Before we get into the habits that build generational wealth, we need to talk about the traps that destroy it before it even starts. Because here's the thing about old money mindset. It's not just about what you do, it's about what you stop doing. Trap 1. I'll start when I have more money. Ah, yes, the oldest trap in the history of personal finance. I'll start when I'm more stable. I'll invest when I have extra. I'll learn about money after the holidays. Meanwhile, compound interest, which Einstein allegedly called the 8th wonder of the world, is sitting in a corner watching you crying. Old money families don't wait for more to start. They start with less, and the starting is the strategy. A $20 automatic investment at 22 is worth more than a $200 investment at 42. Mathematically, provably, embarrassingly. There it is. Trap 2. Lifestyle inflation. You get a raise, beautiful, deserved, wonderful, and within 90 days, without even noticing, your expenses have grown to match it, like a gas filling whatever container you give it. This is called lifestyle inflation, and it is the silent, smiling assassin of every middle-income earner who ever thought they were almost there. Old money families have a rule, unspoken, never written down, drilled in from childhood. When income goes up, savings percentage goes up first. Lifestyle upgrades come second, always. We see you. We are you. That's why we're here. Trap 3. Mistaking appearance for wealth. I want you to look at this image very carefully. Very carefully. Old money doesn't announce itself. It never has. You know what old money drives? A clean 7-year-old sedan. You know what old money wears? Whatever fits. You know what old money doesn't do? Post it. The most dangerous financial disease of the modern era is performing wealth instead of building it, and social media has turned it into a full-time, unpaid job with zero benefits and a great comment section. Write that down, tattoo it somewhere, set it as your lock screen, do something with that sentence. All right, now we get into the good stuff, the actual habits, the specific, boring, life-changing behaviors that old money families practice so consistently they don't even think about them anymore. 5 habits, that's it, 5. Habit 1, they talk about money at home. Old money families discuss money the way your family discusses weather, casually, regularly, without shame. They tell their kids what things cost, what investments do, why patience matters. Most of us grew up in homes where money was either a secret or a screaming match, nothing in between. The fix is embarrassingly simple. Start talking to your kids, to your partner, to yourself in the mirror if necessary. Normalize the conversation. The silence is what's keeping you poor. Habit 2. They own, they don't rent, thinking. Old money thinks in ownership, not just property, ownership of everything. Stocks are ownership. A small business is ownership. A course you sell online is ownership. Anything that pays you while you sleep is ownership. Renting your labor, trading time for money, is the only strategy most of us were taught, and it works until it doesn't, until you're 60 and your back gives out and your boss calls it restructuring. Habit 3. They invest in boring things consistently. Old money's portfolio is frankly offensive in its boredom. Index funds, real estate, bonds, dividend stocks, nothing that requires a Discord server or a 3 a.m. panic check. No moonshots, no this is the one, no Telegram groups, just boring, consistent compounding. He's not even awake. That's the point. Habits 4 and 5. They read differently, they build networks. Old money reads to understand systems, not to be entertained, not to stay current, to learn how the game is structured so they can play it differently than everyone else. One biography of a wealthy family will teach you more about money than 4 years of standard schooling, and it costs $11. And finally, the uncomfortable one, networks. Old money families don't just invest in markets, they invest in people, the right room, the right relationship, the right conversation at the right dinner table, opportunities that never get posted online because they never need to be. Meanwhile, some of us are networking on LinkedIn by writing excited to share posts that nobody reads. All right, no more theory, no more roasting. Well, minimal roasting. Here is your 1-week challenge. 7 days, 7 habits. None of them require money to start. All they require is the one thing old money families guard more carefully than any investment: intention. 7 days, that's all, and I want to be honest with you. You won't feel rich after 7 days. You won't even feel different after 7 days. But here's what will happen. You'll have started, and starting, that deliberate, unglamorous, zero applause act of starting, is the only thing that separates the people who talk about generational wealth from the people who actually build it. The families you admire, they didn't start with more than you have. They started with a different question. Not how do I spend less, but how do I build something that outlasts me? That's the question, that's the mindset, that's the whole game. Start planting. There are families whose grandparents bought land they've never seen. And somewhere out there, there's a family whose story starts with a video their grandparent watched, a decision they made on a random Tuesday, a habit they started with no applause, no audience, and no guarantee. That family could be yours. That grandparent could be you. Not because you're special, though maybe you are, I don't know your life, but because you chose to understand the game instead of just playing it blindly. You now know the 3 traps. You know the 5 habits. You have a 7-day challenge. You have 0 excuses, which I realize is deeply inconvenient, and the one thing standing between you and a completely different financial trajectory is the next decision you make. Pick differently. Subscribe. You know why.